Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching. I got a request to do a full demo / review of the PRS SE T60E Acoustic guitar. So let's just get right into the specs. So this is going to be a solid spruce top, meaning it's one solid piece of wood. The bridge is ebony. The pins are supposedly bone. The saddle is also supposedly bone. I'm not really sure. I'll be honest, to me it feels like plastic. If you watched my short, I did mention that maybe this is a different type of ebony, because to me, ebony doesn't really have grain in it, or it's extremely tight and you can barely see it. I can see the grain in this ebony. So what does that mean? Who the heck knows? It's probably just a type of ebony. It might not be, you know, whatever. Ebony is typically solid black. In terms of the top, we have some abalone inlays. We have a flame maple binding, if you can see it on the side there. That's true for the neck as well. Moving up to the neck, that same type of ebony fretboard as well. Also flame maple binding, also supposedly a bone nut. To me, it feels kind of like plastic, but who knows? Got your PRS SE on the headstock, and then we continue with the flame maple binding on the top. Now moving to the back and sides, it is laminate. So that means multiple pieces of wood, not solid. That is what laminate means. You can kind of think of it like plywood, but not exactly. So this is called Zickerate, and this is on the back. You have the abalone going right down the middle. You have the flame maple cap continuously with the cool flame maple binding as well. I do really like that. If you do look inside the sound hole, this is a 2018 model. You can actually see that there's 3 pieces of wood that at the very least make up the back of the guitar. You can see the seam lines for the back of the guitar. You can't see it on the back because this is probably like a veneer or something, but if you look in the actual sound hole of the guitar, you can see those multiple pieces. Sides are also that Zickerate as well. Going also onto the neck itself is made out of mahogany ebony fretboard. I believe I mentioned that. 20 frets, abalone inlays, PRS proprietary tuners, and then we do have a Fishman pickup in here. This is a 9-volt battery. The way they did this, a lot of people don't like this. If you particularly like this Fishman pickup, then you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. But if you don't, then you're probably going to have a giant hole in your guitar. You got 2 strap locks, one at the bottom and then one here at the neck heel. Right now, it is currently not plugged into anything. So your controls for that pickup are right here inside the sound hole. I believe it is a volume and a tone control. This does come with a hard shell case too. If you bought it new or you're on the used market for one, theoretically a case should come with it. This one did as well. I'm probably not going to be keeping this. Acoustic guitars, in terms of maintenance with humidity and things along those lines, are a bit more work than I'm used to. You know, I could just buy like a humidifier, then I got to buy the humidifier sponge that goes in the case and all this other junk. But just getting into the story of why I own this acoustic in the first place, when typically you see electrics on my channel, is I was trying out for a band. And as you know, I've had a couple of guitars for sale on Reverb. One of them I just took down, which is the Epiphone Les Paul Prophecy. I traded that guitar for this. I was not using or playing the Epiphone Les Paul Prophecy. It was a little bit too much guitar for me, too many options. I had other guitars that sounded similar, did similar things. So I didn't really feel a connection with it and a need to keep it. So I straight traded it for this guitar. And in terms of value, right around the same price. On the used market, there's a couple listed on Reverb for a little over $1,000. I think these were $1,200 or $1,300 new. You're probably gonna get somewhere between $800 and $900. I would guess if you're selling it locally, like I am currently. I don't currently have this one listed on Reverb. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a little bit less than that, you know, $750. I wouldn't complain too much about if someone gave me that offer. So what we're going to do here in terms of playing, since there's really no switches, is I don't have it plugged in. I do not own an acoustic amp. However, I am still going to plug it in to the PV6505 Plus, and you're probably thinking, why would you plug an acoustic guitar into that? And it's just to amplify the sound. So we'll do it without it. We'll do it with it. See how it sounds. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to sound on the cell phone because it is a recording through that microphone. You know, I don't have a professional setup, anything like that, just for tone purposes. So you're hearing it straight through the cell phone speaker. So without further ado, let's just play some chords and everything should be in tune. We're in standard tuning. I'm going to turn these down all the way for when I do end up plugging it in. But let's just play some chords. Start with... Let's plug her in and see how she sounds through the amp. Now, unfortunately, I dropped my guitar pick that I was using. So we are now using a Gravity Classic Big Mini. I was using a Dunlop Purple 1.5. So different pick, might sound a little bit because of that, but it's also probably going to sound different too, being that I am plugging it in to the guitar. Let's see here. Just going to play with the tone a little bit to find something I like. That'll work. you have it. I enjoyed myself a little bit too much, maybe. I've been practicing guitar a lot lately for a band that unfortunately I'm no longer in. They decided to go with a keyboardist. As I said, that's kind of the reason I got the guitar in the first place, was they wanted me to play an acoustic for a handful of songs. I didn't really own one, minus the terrible one that I showed in the previous video. I don't have that on the stand at the moment. I have that in a gig bag currently. But I'm not going to really use this. As I said, I do enjoy it. It looks really aesthetically pleasing, but I'm afraid I'm not going to take care of it properly, and I'm probably going to pick up my electrics more than I pick this up. So ultimately, if I'm not going to use it, she's got to go. If you're interested in this, let me know. Maybe we can work something out with shipping outside of Reverb, so I don't have to pay their 10% fee. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to sell it locally for right now. I'm going to keep it in the case. And probably somewhere around $800 is what I'm going to be looking for. Locally, you know, I might give you a little bit of a better deal, but it is what it is. So PRS SE T60E sounds fantastic, looks fantastic. If you're looking for something outside of a Gibson or a Martin or a Taylor, you know, your typical acoustic guitar ranges, PRS might be the way to go. They have some interesting guitars with interesting specs. This particular one they stopped making in 2021. So 18, 19, 20, 21. I don't know if they were making these before 2018, but you know, maybe 4 or 5 years. They probably ran out of the Zickerite and decided to make something else and call it something else. I think there is a C60E now, if I am remembering correctly. That might stand for something else. I have seen those. But this one you cannot currently get unless you buy it used. So it is what it is. Comes with a hard shell case too. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like, share, all that fun stuff. And as always, have a good one.